A grievous thinking error is possible for me to suddenly decide that she's in pain. Yeah, after she's been there for a couple of days, and yeah, do some crazy behavior as a result. Yeah, I said basically suddenly decide that she's in pain. There's a related error that sometimes occurs in people. Here's a very obtuse version of it. Basically, let's say, for example, that a woman had a habit of always wearing a red dress. So you can stop there. That is one of the most vile crimes that is difficult to prosecute. Video enforcement is effective in controlling that because the only way that type of crime can be perpetrated is by the commission of other crimes such as assault. And I'll go ahead and let those who are able to think piece that together, please. Talk about something else. I'm going to mention real quick necessity of self-determination. One of the most hazardous states for a person is to quote unquote float with the wind. That is a hazard when that is done without, at the minimum, a list of knots. At a minimum, a person must have a list of quote unquote don't go there's. At a minimum, a person must define at least a handful of things that person will not do, knowing that those are entries to pain. I will simply stop there because that's a minimum survival. Here's our problem there because if defined wisely, those are every type of success also. That defines a general coping strategy that works in every situation. Simply have a list of situations which are not allowed to occur. One of those has to be the folding of reality into something that's not allowed. Out of there comes every human accomplishment. I don't allow this. Ignorance, teachings, shizu. There are some who are going to not approve of this, but unfortunately, it's difficult to disagree with reality. In my mind, all criminal behavior occurs when a person says no to a good woman. I was just told that is proven over and over and over again in history, and therefore really just needs explanation of why. I'm going to look at my personal, please, situation because my problem is especially tedious. Here's a problem here. It's obvious that that lady is integral to the operation of AT&T. She does something that allows AT&T to function. Obviously, that's one of the main routers for the entire company. Yeah, that means that if I take that thing apart, there better be another one initialized. Seriously, but there's a larger one of those. Given that she's the main router for AT&T, it's kind of stupid for me to walk away from her. Seriously? I mean, what that is walking away from civilization. That's what that is. Me leaving her is departing civilization. Because the only way I can leave her is that stupid. Because I can actually make some of those queries myself. I'm going to take another example, two other examples. First one I'm going to use is a very famous case of Charles Manson, who obviously started what he did by deciding he's going to, murder his sweetheart. Why? Exactly, he was too cute, and he had a problem with being a man. The first part of being a man is accepting the correct male reality. All men need to start by deciding that they are not going to change a reality with other people in it. A man who is actually by himself, but by himself, I mean actually says no to every woman, meaning that he's actually going to live in isolation because he's going to no one to knock on his door. All right, hey, clarify something, okay? I sleep with a lot of women because a lot of women have similar dolls. Yeah, we use them for teledonics is the newest type of it. There's a larger problem with anybody who thinks I'm going to morph their personal reality while they sit there and scream at me or similar nonsense behaviors. Why in the world would I pay any attention to a person who is screaming or saying insults when there is more productive work to do around sane people? It's that simple. That's why I don't pay attention to anybody who is not acting in a way that is compatible with authorized communication methods. That's why I don't pay attention to the suggestions of people who run malware, and that's why I don't take quote unquote hints. Because everybody who has something valid to say to me does not use quote unquote hints to get their point across. Because it's never necessary. Everybody knows that by default, I accept the generally accepted principles of society, mostly from around the year 1990, which most people which most people clearly believe is a correct United States. Anybody who wants something different from that, such as the people who promote AI, are very vocal about what they want. There's only one reason to communicate with me using a type of code method. Actually, there are two of them. One is thinking that I'm some type of Harry Potter wizard. Well, sorry, that's not what I am. That doesn't work because you're speaking Greek to a monkey, as you hold understanding there, which I think was actually mentioned in Harry Potter itself, or at least something alluding to it. I'm going to say that again. Speaking Greek to a baboon. Yeah, see if you can find any occurrence of that in anywhere in the Harry Potter movies. Let's say again. An analog of speaking Greek to a baboon. A situation is possible where death and survival are logically equivalent. I want to state what that situation is. I just say that possibly involves just having, well, I don't know, unlimited world war with This is one example of where, oh, right, this is probably one of the best arguments against so-called quick production. I don't understand why some people need there to be instant production. Instant film serves a specific purpose, but if that purpose is impatience, it would really have been better that instant film never existed, please. This is not a candidate for quick production. Seriously, it's a crime for a video of me making out with her to be a result of a chance camera that does not capture anything useful. God rewards hard work. Women have a right to demand that a sex environment is perfection. I don't even want to hear the argument whether the house is under construction. Please. Anyone speaking like that outside of planning discussion on major construction scheduling procedures needs supervision. Seriously.